Us now with reaction, senior senator from the great state of Ohio, Bernie Moreno. Senator Moreno, thank you for joining us. I know as a citizen, as a father, as a grandfather, you see incidents like this over the years and you feel outrage and grief. But now as a United States senator, what do you think can be done?
A lot has to be done, Kellyanne. We have to get control where this hatred is coming from. It's coming from our universities, from our best colleges in this country. They're teaching kids to hate this country. They're teaching kids that Israel, our greatest ally, is the enemy, that they're perpetuating genocide in Gaza. They're gaslighting these people. By the way, some people in that chamber right down the street came out in the Senate floor and repeated Hamas propaganda just the other day. So when you have these mentally unstable people that are hearing these things, this is the result.
I think it's such an excellent point. In a country of 335 million Americans, Senator Moreno, we have 535 of you here. 100 in the Senate like you, 435 in the House. And we can't do better than Ilhan Omar or AOC, who I'm told is the leader for 2028, who have laughed at anti-Semitism, who has said it's a fiction. Ilhan Omar today can't even give us the standard doctrinaire. Violence is never acceptable. I'm sorry for the loss. 2 young lives snuffed out. She's just going to go to her car for quote now. But I'm wondering what we do about the 31 Democrats who on October 18, 2023 in the House could not vote yes for a resolution to condemn Hamas after they did what they did on October 7th, 11 short days earlier. How do we actually root out anti-Semitism? That's not free speech. And political violence among the rank and file. I mean, will they be censured? And again, what do you think the Senate can do in addition to what the president is doing in defunding some of these universities that have not stopped anti-Semitism on the campuses?
Well, President Trump's finally doing something about it. As you know, he's going after these universities, going after their endowments and taxing them, which, you know, they get tax-exempt status, something no other organization in America that has that kind of wealth gets as a pass. The federal funding, these organizations, these universities get billions of dollars. So we need to hit them where it hurts, which is their pocketbook. We also have to go into our schools and fix what our kids are being taught. Our kids are being taught a lot of garbage by these teachers unions that have taken over our schools and brainwashed our kids. So there's a lot of work to do, but there's also a lot of work to do for the voters. They got to make certain that we send different people to D.C., not these career politicians that get away with saying all kinds of crazy things in the Capitol, and because they have the Democrat media, the mass media that covers for them, it doesn't get reported. You know, just the other day, one of my colleagues went on the Senate floor and accused Israel of genocide. They said that they've killed 50,000 children, that they refused to allow aid into that country. I was with Israel's ambassador today. I took time out of my day, drove to the Israeli embassy to, in person, express my grief and condolences. As you may know, Yehiel Leiter, the ambassador from Israel to the U.S., lost his son, Moshe. They could have bombed the place, the building that the terrorists were housed, but instead they went door to door, and the door for that particular day was booby-trapped. He lost his son. Imagine the pain he felt then. Imagine the pain he felt today as he had to make the call to 2 families to tell them that in America, not in Israel, not in a battlefield, but in America's capital, both were slain.
Well, you mentioned that President Trump, for the second term, is taking some pro-Israel policies, and that's correct, and rooting out anti-Semitism. I'm curious, as somebody who did beat a long-term Democratic senator, Sherrod Brown, last fall, what would you tell other candidates who are thinking of running? What should be the main messages as they run? Should this be one of them?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if you love this country and you've been blessed by this country, you've had success, go think about running for public office. Don't just think, oh, somebody else is going to do it. I think the days of business people sitting on the sidelines is over. You and I talked about that quite a bit. You got to lean in. This is why I'm doing it. I never imagined I'd be here in Washington, D.C., but by the way, it's a great honor. I'm having a lot of fun because you can do a lot of great things, and we need more people to come from the private sector to go into politics. It's what our founders imagined. They didn't want this permanent political class that always go with the wind. So to the viewers out there may be a future candidate in Michigan and New Hampshire and Georgia and Minnesota, states that Republicans can win and will win in 26. There's no greater cause than serving this country, and the person who showed us the way was Donald J. Trump.
No doubt. And so the big, beautiful bill has passed the House, and now I'm curious what you think its chances are in the Senate.
Oh, Kellyanne, let me just first say that I had the pleasure of being on the Senate floor today, hearing one of my colleagues ranting about it, and they said the following words: the problem with the big, beautiful bill is, and there was nothing that made any sense after they said that, because they called the bill beautiful. So President Trump's a marketing genius. Look, we're going to make the 27 tax reform permanent. We're going to reset the investment in R&D tax credits to 100%, because that's what stimulated the environment, the economy, gave us record revenue, something you'll never hear from the mainstream media, record revenues as a result of tax rate cuts. We're going to make those rates permanent. We're not cutting taxes. We're just keeping it the same. Massive deregulation, a tariff policy that finally resets our trade, workforce policies that make sense. If you're an able-bodied American, do you remember who did that? If you're an able-bodied American, you got to work. Bill Clinton said that in the 90s. The Democrats are opposed to that. We're going to get this bill across the finish line. And look, we're ushering in the golden age for America. The next 6 months and 6 years and 60 years of this country are going to be unbelievable. And it all starts here with what we're doing in the next month here in Washington, D.C.
Senator Moreno, you may currently be serving as United States Senator, but you still think and speak like a business leader. And I know you're a very successful entrepreneur in your own right. It's great to have you on set and great to have you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.